Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome to Functional Fitness Friday. Jazzy here. And I got a good workout plan for us today. So we're going to be doing 3 rounds here, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds rest. And then I'll finish out with some guided breathing. We don't need any equipment today, but if you would like to use a mat or something to do push-ups on, feel free to grab that. I'm going to go ahead and get started with demos here, and then we'll get into the workout. So we're going to start off here. We're going to do single leg Romanian deadlifts here. So we can we're going to do all on one leg and then all on the other leg. And for this one, I would like us to push ourselves today to try and do that full single leg. So for that, we want to have that side bend of the knee, push those hips back. So we want to load the hips, and then we extend our leg out, keeping our hips pointed down, sinking into that hip. So what happens is sometimes I see that we come too far forward. That's going to put all the pressure on the back. So we're going to sink into our hip, push the hips back, push the ground away. That's going to help with stability. And also working on our core, really our pillar, our hips and our torso specifically. So we're going to do all on one leg and then switching over to the other side. And this is where we do have the option, especially as we get tired, or if our stability or balance is off today, feel free to bring that toe to the ground in line with the arch of the foot and directly underneath the hip, and then push the hips back and push the ground away. So we're on that toe. So this one, if you see here, my feet are not equal because I'm just using my right leg. So the left leg is just there for support. You could have it back farther out to the side, whatever feels good, but I like to have mine directly under my hip. So that way it's like I'm performing the 2-leg cardio. So those are our first 2 movements. Then we're going to go on the ground here. We're going to do some eccentric push-ups. So I would like us to be on the hands and toes, keeping that core nice and tight, coming down 1, 2, 3. And then you can either push yourself back up. I don't know if any of you heard that. My elbows just cracked really loud. So you can either come back up, or you can just lower yourself nice and slow, get up however you need to. And as we go through again, we're going to do 3 rounds. So we can always by that 3rd round, drop to the knees so we can work on pushing ourselves back up. So that's going to be that one. And then last 2 movements, we're going to be on our back on the ground. And we're going to start off with some glute bridge marches. So I love these. So again, work on the pillar because we're really working on the hips and the torso. So we want to keep that core nice and tight. So I like to imagine bringing the 6-pack together with the zipper. And then we're going to exhale, drive one knee up at a time, and then the other knee. So when my right knee is in the air, the left glute is engaged, and vice versa. So again, this working on the core, pulling those legs in, and then also working on our low back extensors and those glutes. So that is movement number 4. And then last but not least, we are going to do a dead bug hold. So for this one, we're going to have our arms in the air above the shoulders, knees above the hips, push the belly button into the ground. Again, bringing that 6-pack core together, and we're just going to hold here. So working on holding, really push that belly button into the ground. We're going to get some nice core activation. That one, I really love working on the holds to really help us teach ourselves and our bodies and that mind to muscle connection on how to activate and engage the core. Holding it like that is a great way to learn that. So that's why we're doing that today. So we're going to go ahead, get started with our warm up, and we're going to be on the ground, and we're going to start off. We're going to do some quadruped rocks here. So we're going to be on the hands and knees a little bit wider than hip width, and keeping that core nice and tight, pelvis tucked. We're going to inhale, rock back, glutes to heels, and exhale, come up and rocking back and coming up. 2 more, rocking back, getting those hips warmed up and also getting our core engaged. And last one, we want to make sure we're keeping that core nice and tight so our back is flat the whole way. And once we finish that, we're going to do some quadruped opposites here. So for this one, I really do like us to sink into those hips a little bit more. So pushing our hips behind the knees a little bit. And we're going to take our opposite arm, opposite leg, moving back, keeping our back leg straight, and then back to center, and then the other side, keeping those hips pointed towards the ground. I like to sink into the hips a little bit more because it takes the pressure off of those hands. And this is really going to help us prepare to sink into our hips for our single leg RDL. So when you think about it, this is very similar to that single leg RDL position. So we're getting ready for that here. We're going to do one more on each side. Great job. Last one here. And we are ready to rock and roll. So like I said, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest or transition time. We are getting ready here. 3, 2, 1, and go. So starting off with whichever leg you like. Sink into our hip, push the leg back, extend, and then push the ground away. Keeping that core nice and tight. So again, don't want to have that arch, want to bring our butt towards our belly button, lock it in with that core, sink into our hip, and then push those hips back. Again, if you need that support and stability from the other foot, feel free to drop that toe and push the ground away. So keeping our core engaged, sink into the hip. Great job. 3, 2, 1. Great job. All right. We're gonna do that same thing on the other side. Another kind of trick here to help with stability in that foot. Take your shoes off, go in your socks, go barefoot, whatever feels good. 3, 2, 1. Having that flat connection with the ground can give us more stability versus like these shoes, if there's like an arch in there, our foot is not flat and it's not as stable as a movement to push through the ground. So I think I talk about this a lot in my other classes, but generally, whenever I work out, anytime I do any leg movements where I need that stability, I wear flat shoes. So I actually lift in my Vans or my actual like powerlifting shoes for when I do back squats, which is very rare for me to do them at this point in time. But having that stability really helps. 3, 2, 1. Also be aware of how far forward your chest is going. Your chest goes past your hips, it engages that back a little too much. All right, on the ground, we got push-ups. Nice and slow. 3, 2, 1. Keeping those hands below the shoulders. Still keeping that pelvis tucked. Engage that core. So when I say engage the core, we're pulling our different section of our six pack together and down. So we got the zipper there, zip that closed, keeping those elbows. So our hands are starting here. We're ending with those elbows at a 45-degree angle. Our hands are by the bottom of our ribs. So that's kind of that motion when we come down and push up. That motion is what's going to engage the chest. So coming here and finishing up uses all the chest. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we are on our backs. Glute bridge marches. 3, 2, 1. So tuck the pelvis, push those hips up towards the ceiling, one knee at a time. Coming up, we're exhaling as we bring the knee up. Again, this is a great way to really work our pillar. So we're using that core, also using our low back and our glutes. So hips and torso here. We want to pull up with our core. So really zip that core up at the end of the zipper. We have a string tied to our knee. That string pulls the knee up. So the core comes together. Really helps to make sure that we are engaging our core and not our hips or the back. 3, 2, 1. All right, time for my favorite. We have dead bug holds. Again, this is really going to help us be able to activate and engage that core for the rest of the workout. 3, 2, 1. So getting in our dead bug position here, keeping those knees directly above those hips. Belly button into the ground. Pulling our six-pack together. We don't necessarily, activating the core does not just mean sucking in or bringing that belly button to the spine. That's one aspect of it, but we also need to pull the aspects of our core together. So we're zipping that up, pulling it together so it interlocks. Focus on the breath. Core is shaking already. We're doing great. 3, 2, 1. All right. Awesome job. Done with round 1. So we're going to go ahead and stand on up. We got 2 more to go, and then we're going to breathe. We're going to stretch a little bit, then we're going to breathe. 3, 2, 1. All right, starting with whichever leg we would like. Tuck that pelvis. Sink into our hip. Push the hips back. Push the ground away. So I really want us to focus on pushing. So push the hips back like we're closing that door with our butt. Push the ground through that heel, activate those glutes. We're also going to get that hamstring activation as well. But I want to make a note that sensation does not equal like, what's the word? Basically, if we feel a pull in our hamstring, that doesn't mean we're working our hamstring, okay? We don't need to feel that pull to feel like we're working out here. 3, 2, 1. We're still going to use those hamstrings even if we're not stretching them all the way to the toes, okay? Don't want to go down that far. We want to keep that slight bend in the knee here as well. 3, 2, 1. So slight bend in that knee. Push those hips back. It's really all about driving our hips back. It's the same motion as a regular deadlift with 2 legs, but now we're just on 1 leg. So it's the same thing. Sink into the hip, push the ground away. Keep that hip pointed towards the ground. So just like with our quadruped opposites here, headlights on the hips, blind the ground. Same with the shoulders. So keeping our front half pointed towards the ground. If we're struggling keeping towards the ground, drop that toe on the ground to help with that stability here. 3, 2, 1. All right. Next up, we have push-ups, nice and slow. Again, in here, pushing out, keeping those elbows 45 degrees. 3, 2, 1. All right. So again, if we want to push ourselves today, push yourself back up. Really also pay attention to your body. For me, my chest is still sore from the other day. So definitely I feel like Fridays are always a harder day because, you know, we've worked all week. Maybe we're tired, haven't gotten enough sleep. We have done a few workouts today. Maybe we've gone to all the 12 o'clock classes. So really just listen to your body, what it needs today. 3, 2, 1. Great job. All right, flipping over, glute bridge marches, and then we'll do dead bug holds. 3, 2, 1. Push those hips up towards the ceiling. Again, bring that core together. String on the end of the zipper. Pulling that knee in. Want to drive through the opposite heel. When we drive through the heel, that's what engages our glutes. So if you're not sure if your glutes are engaging, you can always place your hand there. Remind yourself to push through the heel. And then same thing with that core. We want to keep that back flat, but we also want to engage our core. So I like to imagine too, so we're zipping it up. We're also slightly pushing it out. 3, 2, 1. So if you've ever, you know, doing squats or anything, we want to engage our core by kind of like we're blowing through a straw. So when we blow through that straw, we're pushing our diaphragm out. We're holding 3, 2, 1. So same thing goes right here too. So our belly button's pressed into the ground, and we want to act like we're blowing through a straw. So exhale, and the way your core feels, that's what we want to hold with. So we want to keep it there. Focus on the breath. Engage that core, bring it together. Like I said, this is a great way to really learn how to engage your core. And that's going to really help with literally all movements, whether it's in the gym, whether it's walking. 3, 2, 1. Like walking, standing, running, jogging, lifting, like all of that. Sitting at your desk. Really important because that's going to help with any low back tension we get. All right, last round coming up. 3, 2, 1. Sink into our hip. Push the hips back. Push the ground away. Keeping, again, shoulders, hips, torso, face the ground. Push the ground away. Great job. Keeping that focus. Want to really push through that whole foot. This is a really great way to work on our balance and stability. We had some of that yesterday and exercise with exo. So this is just a different way of working on balance. 3, 2, 1. It all starts with the foot. So like I said, if you're feeling really wobbly, go ahead, take your shoes off. Also, if you need to, use the other foot for support. 3, 2, 1. Sink into the hip. Push the hips back. This is also something, I don't know why I'm speeding up. You don't have to go super fast with. Go nice and slow. This is not a speed workout. We really want to work on engaging the muscles properly, practicing good intent, but also really focusing on using our muscles in the intended muscle group, but also engaging that core. Lately with RDLs, I've been definitely feeling it in my back a little bit more. So I'm like really focusing right now on my core and sinking into my hip. 3, 2, 1. All right, we're done with those. We got 3 more movements. And then we're going to be on our back. We're going to stretch and then breathe. All right, we got push-ups. My favorite. 3, 2, 1. If you know, you know, but I do not like push-ups. They are not my favorite at all, but it does help working on chest strength, upper body strength, which can really help us with a lot of movements as well. I mean, imagine, like pushing a door open, right? Like it definitely helps when we have that functional strength to be able to transfer it over and control our body weight to transfer it into other movements in the gym and to movements outside of the gym. So that's always my goal, is to help make life outside of the gym easier. All right, that was 45 seconds. We're done. Good job. I didn't give you a countdown. Sorry. Ran out of time. I kept talking. All right, 2 more. We're on our back here. Glute bridge marches. 3, 2, 1. Push those hips up. Bring that core together. Zipper. Zipping up the core. Driving through the heels. So again, this is also not meant to be a fast movement. I want to make sure that all aspects are engaged, right? Our glutes are engaged, our core is engaged, and our back is flat. We need all 3 of those things to have a successful glute bridge march. Great job. Finishing strong with these, and then we're going to do our dead bug hold, and then we're going to stay on the ground on our backs. So there's no need to get up after this. 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to do our dead bug hold, and then We'll breathe and stretch. 3, 2, 1. So belly button pressed into the ground. Focus on that exhale. That's what's going to really engage that core for us. Keep that belly button in the ground. Focus on the breath though. It's kind of a perfect movement to focus on with the breath, transitioning into our guided breathing after this. Wow, that was actually a really nice transition. Didn't even realize until just now. Keep that core, hold it. We're almost there. Finish strong, you got this. 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and relax. And like I said, we're gonna stay on the ground for our cool down. So we're gonna take a second. We're gonna stretch out. We're gonna do a nice figure 4 piriformis stretch here. We're gonna open up our hips. We did lots of RDLs today, right? And that's just gonna help open up our hips and our back and our hamstrings and our glutes. So we're gonna I'm gonna leave my left foot on the ground. We're gonna take that right ankle over the left knee. And if that tension feels good, go ahead and stay there. If you need a little bit more attention, let's go ahead and interlace the fingers and grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin and pull towards the chest. We're gonna breathe in through the nose and into the belly, feeling that low back and our hips expand with each inhale. And exhale through the mouth, sighing away that tension. Great job. It's really going to help us open up our backside, especially after our single leg RDLs. Definitely did a lot of those. We're going to do one more breath on this side. And as we finish that exhale, we can gently bring that foot back to the ground. And then we can go ahead and switch over to the other side. So we're going to take the left ankle above the right knee. That feels good. Go ahead and stay there. If you need a little bit more attention, go ahead and interlace those fingers and grab either on behind the knee or in front of the shin. Start to make note if this side is tighter than the other side. This side feels better than the other side, but also just really kind of checking into of what area feels tight. So is it the hamstrings that are more tight on this side? Is your back more tight on this side? Kind of make that mental note. Everyone is going to be different on each side. So, you know, for me, this side, it's more in my hip, but really nice big deep breaths. And we're gonna go ahead and do one more deep breath. And as we finish that exhale, we can gently bring that foot towards the ground. And then we can go ahead and straighten our legs. So we're gonna do a little bit of breathing here. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna take that left hand, we're gonna place it over our heart, our right hand on our stomach, right over the diaphragm. And the goal of this, the reason why I like to do this is so that our right hand that is over the diaphragm, we want that to elevate when we inhale, not our left hand. So the hand on our chest over our heart, when that one elevates first, that means we're chest breathing and we're leaving a lot of room for improvement for our correct breathing patterns here. We really want to use that diaphragm, really let that come up and then fill the rest of the chest up. So I like to think breathing into the belly and then up into the lungs and then into the head. And that's how I do my breathing when I'm trying to calm down. And so with that breathing pattern here, so we're going to inhale in through the nose, let that belly fill. And then exhaling through the mouth.
We're going to work on getting our exhales longer than our inhales. So right now, we're going to do 4 seconds in. So we're going to inhale for 4 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds. And then we're going to exhale for 8 seconds. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to repeat that a few times here. So we're going to inhale for 4 seconds. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So try and keep that same pace, that same tempo. Letting that right hand raise. The other thing I want us to focus on, really just let all of the muscles relax in your body with each exhale. So by doing that, we are allowing our body to calm down. Our exhales are longer than our inhales. We're going to tap into our parasympathetic nervous system. So our heart rate's going to come down. We're going to be able to digest our food better. All of that's going to happen. And so this is the breathing tempo I like to do after a workout, just make those exhales nice and long. I really like to do this before going to bed. So it's a great way to kind of de-stress that body and the mind before going to bed. So we're going to do a few more breaths here, getting ready to digest our lunch after this, if you're taking that lunchtime. Let's go ahead and do one more breath. And after we finish that exhale, we can go ahead and begin to wake the body up. So we can wiggle our fingers and toes, move our head side to side. And when we're ready, we can come over onto our side and return to a seated, kneeling, or standing position. Or you can stay laying on the ground, keep breathing, whatever feels good for you. Oh, that was really close, I'm sorry. But that's gonna be all the time we have for today's class. So thank you all so much for joining me. You did a great job. Definitely did lots of different stuff today. So definitely get lots to recover this weekend. Take time for yourself. Definitely practice that deep breathing anytime you're feeling stressed throughout the day, before bed, when you wake up in the morning. Just really, if anytime you need a reset. So next week, we're back to full schedule of classes. I'll be teaching Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 12. We got Thursday, Friday at 7. So those are the classes I'm teaching next week. So I hope to see y'all at some point soon. We also got stretch breaks Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. So join us for all those. We also got all of our other classes on SharePoint, but great job today. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you soon.